we're going to do some self-myofascial release in each different area, and then we're going to mobilize through the joints as well. So we're going to start with the hamstrings and the booty because that last circuit we have bridges. So we want to warm up those hamstrings and that tush. So go ahead, we'll start with the hamstrings. Place the foam roller like under the mid part of your thigh, and then lift the hips, press to the hands, and slowly roll through the entire hamstring. Try to keep the foot flexed to start. You just want to roll from the bottom of the tush to right above the knee, so we don't have to actually go in and behind the knee. So if you feel like this feels pretty good and you can handle more, you can always double up the other leg and wrap it around, because the more weight you can get into the foam roller, the deeper this is going to help release some of that tension through the muscles. Wherever you are though, go ahead, turn the arch of the foot towards the floor, and now we're going to hit a little bit more inner thigh and hamstring rather than just the hamstring. So keep that foot rotated out. Arch of the foot is facing the floor. And again, the goal is the same from the bottom of the hip to the top of the knee. From here, rotate, so now the arch of the foot is facing the ceiling, and now we're going to hit a little outer thigh with hamstring, maybe moving into the IT band. Slowly release. Before we move into the other leg, we're going to do the glute on that same side. So coming onto your side, you're going to place the foam roller underneath the middle of your tush, lower down onto the forearm. You're going to keep both feet on the floor today, knees high up to the sky. You want to keep your hips square to the ceiling, but you're starting to rotate the chest to the wall in front of you. So you're really hitting the tissue on the glute, making sure we're getting into that and we're not like on the hip bone or the joints or anything like that, or the outside of the hip. So you just want to roll the entire of the glute, so right where the glute and the leg come together, and then stop when the glute is about to hit the low back. So nice and easy, just forward and back, forward and back. The next time you come to about the center of that glute, hold, and we're just going to gently windshield wiper the knees side to side, so you're kind of rocking maybe just an inch or two. So if you're really tender through the glutes, this might not feel so great, but that compression is going to be what helps the muscle to relax. So try to not add tension through the upper body, avoid holding the breath, make sure you're breathing. Stay for 3, 2 more side rocks, 1 more. Slowly release. Go ahead and take your free hand to press yourself up. Slide the foam roller out from underneath of you, and we'll take it to the other leg. So right at that middle of the hamstring, pick the hips up from the hands, and then we have a flexed foot, and we're driving from right underneath the tush to right above the knee. So not a huge thing here. Just make sure you don't go behind the knee. We don't want to put any pressure there. Stay right into that hamstring. And again, if this side you feel like I can handle more, you can always wrap the other leg around and use that top leg just to add some weight into it. But if that doesn't feel good, feel free to just leave that foot on the floor. From here, rotate so the inside arch of the foot is facing the floor. Let's hit a little bit inner thigh. You got it, stay with it. From here, just keep flowing, but rotate so the arch of the foot hits or faces towards the ceiling. Hit outer thigh. Slowly release it down, drop the hips. I'm going to rotate, but you can just switch off to the other side. You're going to place it underneath the center of the glute. Again, we want to keep the feet flat onto the floor. Hips are following the knee direction up to the ceiling, but chest is slightly open to the wall in front of us. So just about 30 seconds in each position. Just want to roll through. If it feels extra tender, you might want to just hold that spot and let it decompress through the tension, through that weight pushing into the foam roller. So on the next time when you come to that mid spot of the glute, hold, and again, we're just gonna kind of windshield wiper the knees just an inch or two side to side, really getting nice and deep into the tush. Like 2 more, stay with your breath, and slowly release. Go ahead, set the foam roller off to the side for a second. Go ahead, we're gonna mobilize the front of the hips with mobility rather than foam roller. So you wanna bring your knees to a 90-90. I'll scoot myself this way so I'm not against the wall. From here, take the hands behind you. Whatever leg is to the back, you're gonna slowly lift that leg until it can't go anymore without the other leg following, and then the other leg will follow. So once you're at the back of the mat, the knees are still bent at a 90-90, and you should feel this big time in the hip flexors, right where that hip and the leg come together, right in that joint. We're mobilizing through the joint. And if you're really flexible through the hips and you feel like you can take your hands off the floor, feel free to reach the arms forward and then stay with that same thing and transition to the back. Whatever feels better for you, hands or no hands, just really focus on opening up those hip flexors with this mobility, 90-90. 2 more, 1 on each direction. Even it out. Last one. And slowly release. Okay, 1 more time with that foam roller. We're going to take it to the upper back. So go ahead and sit onto your tush. You're going to place the foam roller right above the rib cage, but right below the shoulder blades. You can bring the hands behind the head. You can hug the arms, whatever feels more comfortable down by the side. Press through the feet to lift the hips. And then we're gonna roll the entirety of the shoulder blade. So from the bottom of the shoulder blade to the top. So we're not going into the neck, but right where that shoulder blade starts to meet the top of the shoulders. And then you roll right back down to the bottom of the shoulder blade. So really targeting the upper back here. Keep pressing through the bottom of the feet. Keep your core strong. So we're not like letting the hips drop and the lower back start to take on any weight or tension. Use your hamstrings, your glutes, your feet to keep the body supported up and off the floor. Keep your chest open to the ceiling. And then slowly release. You can set your foam roller off to the side, you don't need it anymore. And we're gonna do shoulder cars to mobilize to the actual joint. So reach the arms straight out in front of you, make sure the shoulders are relaxed so we're not shrugging. From the shoulder socket, you're gonna actively pull the arms back, then use the shoulder socket to lift, pull them forward, and then back down. So you're moving in almost like a square, almost circle type motion, but you wanna make sure you're not just shrugging the shoulders to get it up. So you're actually focusing on the whole shoulder girdle. So pull the scapulas back and together, lift from the shoulder socket, pull it back forward so you're pulling the scapulas apart, and then slowly lower back down. Maybe about 4 this direction, and then we'll do 4 the other direction. So slowly pull it forward, and then the same thing. So again, really focus on feeling the joint moving around. We don't want to just be shrugging and releasing. We really want to mobilize through the joint. Maybe 1 more. And slowly release. Just roll the shoulders, shake it out, and then you're ready to work out.